Community service instead of arrest? Florida legislators are debating major changes to our criminal justice system. Senator Audrey Gibson from District 9 in Duval County is here to discuss some of those proposals, including giving police officers different options when it comes to making arrests for juveniles. Senator Gibson, great to have you here. Thanks for coming back to Newsmakers.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me.
So what are your plans for civil citations, maybe changing the way they're issued?
Well, I've had a civil citation bill in the Senate every year that says in all cases police officers must issue civil citations or a similar diversion, and so there's been a little angst with the must or shall always. And so the civil citations bill that actually it's a bipartisan bill that both Senator Rene Garcia and I prime sponsored. He's South Florida, I'm North Florida. But we have the same issues as it relates to more of our kids that could get a civil citation. So in the bill, it says a police officer can even call a parent. That's another choice. You don't have to make the arrest. You don't even have to do the civil citation. And there used to be a time that officers did call parents and let the parents come pick up the child and handle the situation. So
the idea here is that you don't want to have an arrest on a young person's record that will be there for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
Everybody makes mistakes when they're young.
Yes, they do, and that's what youth is all about. And so if it doesn't rise to the level of a felony or a violent crime, it's a strictly misdemeanor, then it's a civil citation. Certainly we want that to be considered. And the other caveat for the bill is if that officer is not going to issue a civil citation, we'd like to have a little report that says why not.
Speaking of criminal justice, there have been some issues with the Department of Corrections, and I know some people in the Florida legislature are looking for ways to make some reforms to the DOC.
Yes, and as vice chair of that committee, I've heard a few. We've had the secretary come before us, which I think is where the accountability starts and ends with her, actually. And we need to build in that accountability throughout the system. And so we had a good debate concerning whether or not Florida should create a commission, which I don't think so. I also don't think that the governor should appoint the secretary and the members of the commission. That doesn't do anything to help create accountability. And there are some other issues that I have related to a voluntary commission that seems to have a full-time job as a commissioner.
Yeah, well, you also discussed, and has been a big topic in the legislature, the issue of texting while driving. Now, a law was passed a couple of years ago which makes it a secondary offense, but I don't know about you, but everywhere you drive, you still see people in Florida with their faces in phones, not paying attention. There are accidents, and it's actually been shown that texting while driving is more dangerous than drinking while driving. There have been some studies out there. So you would like to make these laws a little bit tougher so to dissuade people from doing it.
Well, and I think it's the way I want to approach it. One of the reasons I was agreeable to the secondary offenses is because I think, especially with new phones, it's very difficult to tell whether someone is texting or driving. And so since I'm hearing some rumors that perhaps there may be some legislation floating around to make it a primary offense, I filed a bill along with my House sponsor that says let's just make Florida hands-free, and then we don't have to worry about whether one of our young people is getting stopped and they weren't really texting and it escalates into something else. Right,
remove the ambiguity. One other thing I want to discuss is improving childcare in the state. This is something that you're involved in, trying to get kids to these facilities and make it more affordable for parents to be able to put their kids in a child care facility if they have to go to work. It's getting expensive.
Well, I think the bill indirectly addresses the expense issue because parents are looking for places to place their children, and I wanted to make sure that they don't place them somewhere that's unlicensed just because it's cheaper. And so one of the pieces of legislation that I have says that the family home daycares and large daycares have to conspicuously post their licenses in a common area of the home as soon as someone walks in. and that if you're not licensed, you cannot put the magnets on your car advertising that you provide childcare, none of that, and then that everyone in the household needs to be properly background screened. So I'm hoping that we can get that out of here this year. I got it up and through last year, but it didn't make it to the governor's desk, so we'll see.
A lot on your agenda. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank
Session 2015, Senator Audrey Gibson, thanks for being this hour's newsmaker.
Thank you very much.
And we thank you for watching from the state capitol. I'm Phil Latzman.